to Fox Hill School. Are any of you Fox Hill alumni? I can't. Okay, your face is not familiar, so you've grown.
Yeah.
So what's your name?
Vibhushan Wigneswaran.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the vision.
Yeah.
Someone remembers me, okay.
Yeah.
Can I
I
ask
had
you to
the
do
vision.
one more thing? I hate to be fussy, but do you think you could push down a
Oh,
little
yeah.
so the kids on that side have a better view of all of you? You're kind of not really centered to the whole group. That's great. Thank you.
So maybe we continue with introductions here.
Dakota Scalzi. Sean Sarabian, Francis Wyman alumni. I'm Dan Frey. I'm from Francis Wyman.
Melanie Thudo. Hi, Glenn.
Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. So our discussions and I think a lot of articles that we've been reading have centered around this problem of cyberbullying and bullying in general. And, you know, kids were wondering, they had some really good questions about how do you handle that in high school, and what does it look like in high school, and what has your experience been? So I think you have some questions or some information that we forwarded to you. So I guess I'll turn it over to you guys, and then maybe we can open it up for other questions from some of the kids. So.
I guess we can start with, do you guys use any type of social media platforms?
What?
Like, well, what social media platforms do you guys use?
Like, do you use YouTube, Twitter?
Instagram?
How many of you actually own your own accounts?
WhatsApp, okay. Any other
So
ones?
it's not that many of you.
I use
Good.
Snapchat, okay. How about you?
Actually post
Sean.
something on your account, or is it more of a just browse or?
He was calling on you what you use. You can say it there.
I think other.
So a lot of these social media platforms are still sort of used in high school. Like Snapchat's very popular, Instagram's pretty popular. People use Twitter, Facebook. So sometimes you can see cyberbullying in those types of forms. I don't know.
I mean, I guess it doesn't really happen a lot in Burlington in high school. We all have Snapchat, we all have, Facebook, all that, but it's not very common. And if it does appear, it appears in the form of comments, usually. In an Instagram post, people comment, or Facebook, stuff like that. Especially Snapchat, because people who have Snapchat, as you know, the posts don't last, they disappear after you open them. So it's pretty easy to send comments that don't have an impact on Snapchat. But
Sorry, I'm just going to ask my students to speak up a little bit louder, just so that the mic
right.
captures it.
Yeah,
Thanks.
will do.
But yeah, I mean, if it does happen, I guess we could talk about the ways to stop it and the ways to kind of help yourself and help prevent it. So, how do you guys want to?
Well, for our, like how you said, like if we see it, it's kind of just goes away. And to be quite honest, even if it is there, like at all, usually like it either disappears, like we state, or if it continues. Usually gets brought up in a form where it does eventually get resolved. In most situations, we don't go to staff as much because we're just kind of one of those groups that don't need interference.
Can I interject something? One of the things that we've seen here is we have heard about, partly through parents and even through some kids in our grade, that there are instances of what at this age look like sort of low-level or sort of low-stakes cyberbullying, and it starts as teasing and rumors spreading. And one of the issues that these kids face is because they're not mature yet, like you guys are, they don't necessarily have the tools, the personal tools or the resources to know how to handle it, what to do. So that was something that we were kind of hoping that you might be able to give them some guidance about, because they are starting to see it, even if it's not at a really high stakes level.
Well, I think that if you're dealing with cyberbullying, you should talk to your parents first, your friends, your teachers, your guidance counselors about the specific incidents, and don't be afraid to tell them what happened, because if you tell them everything that happened, they'll be able to give you the best response to how to handle it.
One thing also that actually I remember as a kid being told was, if anyone ever messes with you, even online, you go to the person, to their face, because most times they're cowards and they don't like frontal attention at all. So don't be afraid to go up to the person, just speak out against them.
And I guess part of online cyberbullying is that it's very easy to do it, because even as Mel said, to go up to them, sometimes they might not have a face. They're just hidden behind some username or behind some account, and you don't know who they are. So I guess you could say some strategies for dealing with that are to first try to be neutral, maybe have a response. Like if they said something mean, you could either ignore them, you could say something neutral back, don't start an argument. If it gets beyond something that you can ignore, then the best thing to do is to take it to your parents or take it to someone responsible who you trust.
And then if that doesn't work still, the last case scenario that you guys could ever go to is just straight up blocking them, which is, again, last case. Don't do it off the bat. It doesn't resolve anything. They'll just make a new username or whatever and come after you. But it doesn't hurt to always block them at the end if all other cases fail.
So I guess to add on is that if these kind of things keep on happening, don't let it affect your life or your school life or your social life or anything like that, because they're really not worth it. They're just people who are trying to make themselves feel better by making other people feel worse. So if you just ignore it or do something like tell your parents or something about it, then they're not going to be able to make other people feel worse, and then they're just going to stop. So try to make sure you take action about the things that you do if this kind of case happens.
Also, stuff like rumors that are spreading, they can sometimes be solved because usually they start as misunderstandings, usually. So if you know someone's spreading rumors or something, you can always talk to them first, how to clear it up. If it gets worse or the person is purposely spreading these rumors or doing something you don't want them to do, you should start talking to people, other adults or your peers.
Let me give you guys an example. So in the high school recently, you guys know about prom, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a big, people like to shop for prom dresses before prom. And so there's this, I'm not going to name any names, there's one girl who decided to spread rumors about a prom dress that she brought that was too similar to other girls' prom dresses. And so she posted it on Instagram or Facebook, something like that.
Instagram, I believe.
Instagram, and then it spread. And the reason it spread is because people decided to comment on it, people decided to share it with other people. And so I guess the best thing you can do if you see something like a post you don't like or something that can possibly be a rumor, don't screenshot it, don't send it to other people, just leave it be, and then it won't turn into a rumor, it won't turn into something that can potentially hurt a lot of people.
Do you guys have any questions?
Do you guys like video games?
Yes.
So I'm pretty sure you guys all play video games. Probably playing online with your friends and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes if you you may have probably came across some annoying guy who probably tries to say oh, you're so bad, you're so bad. Those are the kind of people who just by doing those little things they can cause something big. And so just by simply ignoring them or not trying to fight back with them, you can like prevent those kind of like cyberbullying. Even something as little as that is another form of cyberbullying. So.
Also, let's say you're playing a game with just a voice chat or something like that. Try not to be the guy who calls other people bad, because they don't know whether you're joking or not. Even if you're joking, you're saying, "Oh, you're bad." They might not understand. They might actually get their feelings hurt and feel cyberbullied. So that's a good thing to just stay away from.
Do you guys ever find that with your friends, that there are misunderstandings linked with how you've written something or texted them or shared something online? What are you guys doing about that in high school? Are you guys talking about that with your teachers? Do you have any advice for everybody in terms of what they should be writing to their friends online or through text?
Well, I think you have to be careful when you're texting somebody, because it's hard. You can't see a person's like emotions through a text. So you really have to like maybe look at it 1 or 2 more times before you send the text, especially if it's about something big, because you don't want to make a big deal over a text.
Just write exactly what you mean and like make it as directly forward as possible, and any questions, just literally wait until you see the person. It usually helps more or less. Because, for instance, if you say something and you just leave it be, it's going to manifest for days, maybe, and then it might spread into rumors eventually, if not resolved carefully.
And just like be careful with the things you say, even if it's just to your friends. Like you might want to goof around and like say something funny to them, but sometimes even your friends could take offense to something, and it could like change your friendship really quickly. So just always make sure that you like think before you post something or text something to your friends.
Overall, just be careful you share to each other, because even though like for now you might be friends with the groups you are, but in the future you might be either in different groups or you might even grow, and you don't want things to come back to haunt you later on.
And it's really easy when you're texting to get angry at someone, you like get into an argument with people. And if you're on YouTube, you look at the YouTube comments, and it's like, you know, you get angry when the comments back, or even if it's your friends, and then you talk to each other, and then because it's texting and you can't see their face or you can't see their emotions, it's hard to it can be easy to get into an argument even with a friend. And so oftentimes I find that like even now I get into arguments with my friends over text because I just can't see their face and I can't see what they're feeling or saying. And so if you're ever in that situation, then you should just go up to that person, because usually when you just go to that person face to face and talk about it, then it's really easy to solve.
Now, do any of you create content and send it out publicly at this age yet? I don't know if any of you do.
You said YouTube, right?
You do. So any of you who have like a public Instagram, Twitter, anything that you send out and anyone can see, like in the public, just not only your friends, you want to raise your hands? Great.
What kind of stuff do you create? Is it just like little videos of like home life, like probably like?
No, I don't do vlogs. I don't do personalized stuff.
Alright. That's always good.
I do musically.
Alright.
Alright, that's not bad.
Alright. Well, so if anyone ever comments something negative and you don't know that person, you're just a random person, you've never met them before, I'd recommend just not responding. Just leave it alone. Like, if you don't know who the person is, just don't even respond to them. Don't think about it. Just keep doing what you're doing. It's probably fine. Probably not, you know, messing anything up huge, so I'd just keep going.
Any questions?
Question over here.
Have any of you guys got like cyberbullied before?
Well, I guess like I mentioned, video games can be like a pretty big, like, nonchalant kind of way to cyberbully people, and I have had some few instances where I would like be playing a game and there'd always be like that obnoxious guy who would probably like tell me, "Oh, you're so bad, I don't know why you're playing this game, like you're bothering me," whatever. So pretty much what you would just do about that is maybe like mute them. There's a option to mute someone, or if it's like through text, like if they try to send you a post or text you anything, you probably your best bet would just to not respond to it. And if that person keeps on texting you, I would talk to like your parents or your guidance counselor or someone who can help you with that situation.
Also, if something like that happens, there's usually report features in most social media platforms, as well as like things in games. So let's say you're playing a video game and you voice chat, someone's blaming you or like calling you bad. If you feel like that's toxic behavior or it's bad, you can always just report them and then mute them so they don't hear you. Same with things like Instagram comments and Facebook. If someone that you don't, if someone is talking badly of you on your posts, something like that, feel free to like report them or like even block them if necessary.
Can I just jump in for 1 minute? Just remember, guys, that between bullying and being mean at school, there's a difference where you might have a fight with someone or someone might say something that you don't like. But if they're doing it over and over again and they're coming, like they're really coming for you every day, like it's targeted, they're thinking about you and they're trying to do something that's not nice, that would be bullying. It would be the same online. So if you're playing a game and somebody very random is saying some stuff that isn't very nice, I wouldn't necessarily consider that to be bullying because you don't know the person, you may never see them on that game again another time, and so then reporting them, muting them, that would be the best way of handling that. If it's something where other kids that you actually know are doing something and it's happening over and over again and it's making you feel very uncomfortable, that's what we're really talking about cyberbullying. So I'm not sure if any of you guys have dealt with a situation like that where someone in school has been putting comments on maybe on like your Twitter feed or on your like Instagram, or I guess not really, Snapchat doesn't really have comments so much, it would be like they would snap you, but have any of you guys dealt with more like a repeated situation with kids at Burlington High or something like that?
Well, I've seen it.
Yeah.
But it was like a while ago. So it does happen, but it doesn't happen that often.
Yeah.
I can only think of like one case of like repeated. It happened like over and over again.
Do you know what the school did in that situation, or do you know what that student did in that situation?
He was like disciplined by somebody. Yeah.
So they must have reported what was going on, and as you guys know, with anything on your phones, anything online, you can print it, you can take pictures of it, you can bring it in, and you can show exactly what's happening. So I would guess that student might have done something like that if you guys were seeing it and then something happened. Sorry, I know I saw a hand. Sean, was your hand up?
Yeah.
Okay.
When should we know to stand up if we are being cyberbullied?
Well, just like repeated incidents, and if it's really like being targeted and it's really like being spirited, and you can kind of see that someone's not really like standing up for themselves, then you should report it.
Also, generally, if even if someone's acting mean towards you, blaming you, you should try to stand up for yourself, confront them, and it'll probably solve things quicker.
If that doesn't work, then you can go to someone you trust.
Yep.
A whole group is the same scenario. If it keeps coming at you, eventually you have to do something about it either way. So stand up for yourself, like we said. Worst case scenario, you report. It doesn't matter if it's big, this group's big, small, or if it's an individual. You have to do something to help yourself eventually, or you'll always be the victim.
Because like I know you guys probably if you ever get like bullied, cyberbullied or anything like that, you might think not to speak up about it because you're probably afraid that those people are gonna be like, oh, he's a tattletale. Well, do not worry about that, like, at all. Like, if you speak up about it, shouldn't like affect you at all. Like, there's gonna be something that's gonna stop it. So it's better to speak up about it so you can stop it rather than to have it keep on going and being afraid that they're just gonna make fun of you because you told on them. Like, telling on someone is a good thing. Like, you want that problem to stop.
Do you guys ever see the opposite online? Do you ever see people being, like, doing really nice things through?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One case in 8th grade where there was like there was like a social media where it's like someone created a fake ID, but it was like their name. It was like Tinkerbell. Like they took some like AI sort of thing from like a Disney movie where they kept saying like, comments to people. That does happen. Not very rare. It's very extremely rare, and I don't know whatever happened to the account. I'm guessing she deleted it or he deleted it eventually.
But they were writing nice things?
Every day. Yeah.
Oh, that's really nice.
Most comments on social media, especially like Instagram, are nice comments to the user. So, but really, it does happen. I'd say more often than people getting cyberbullied are just nice comments to a person between friends publicly on social media platforms.
Oh, but if you're seeing someone else get cyberbullied per se, like you were saying, it's like if you ever see it, I would actually address the person that's being told to instead of just directly going to a teacher, because even though you might think it might be harmful, it could just be like a joke sort of thing going around, and you don't want to get like yourself in a situation where you're like blaming a whole group for nothing. So be very careful about that.
If someone is being mean to like everybody, would that be considered bullying?
That'd be. If it's repeated, I think it would be considered bullying.
Okay.
Can I ask a question for the group? So the different social media that you may be using, do your parents or other family members look at that often? Like, do they know about it?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm seeing some yeses, some nos. So one thing another student who couldn't make it today said was, before you post something, think about what your parents or your grandparents or other family members would think about what you're saying. Like, would they approve of that? Would they not approve of it? So that's just another kind of thing to kind of keep in mind. You know, if you're doing things or saying things online, think about if your parent just read or saw what you put up and how, you know, they would feel about that. So that's just something to kind of think about. And I don't know if you all have thought or understood like what a digital footprint is. Is that something that's been kind of covered?
Do you guys know what that
Do you know what a
means?
digital footprint is? So you know what a footprint is, right? Like if you step on the ground, it leaves like an imprint on the ground. So when you go online, you have kind of a digital footprint, which means it's something that can be permanently there. And so even if you said something you thought, okay, that's in the past, someone could go back and look it up and see like, oh, you know, someone said something or did something that wasn't so nice. And, you know, that's something that you don't want to have as part of your history of, you know, what you're doing or your footprint when you're online. So it's another thing to think about.
And I'm gonna add one thing to it. Deleting doesn't, how you said digital footprint, deleting things doesn't help. It still is on the internet for always. Forever and always. So, again, think twice. Doesn't hurt.
So as you get older, there are people who have been denied jobs, who have been, you know, kicked out of colleges, and basically bad things have happened to people who have done bad things online. So you really want to be conscious of what you put online, and you really only want to leave positive things online. That can really enhance your future.
I mean, it definitely matters what you put online. Like there's a group of Harvard students who posted some pretty bad stuff on Facebook, and they actually got kicked out of Harvard for doing that, which is kind of bad. So you don't want that to happen to you.
Like, since you do YouTube, like one of the things you could think about if your thing like goes really nice and you're like completely, you have a perfect record, is that you could become a YouTuber and possibly get that as a job or a hobby on the side. That is very much possible. Of course, it takes a lot of work, but you can't do that if you have reports against you. So if any of you are thinking about having a job in the social media field ever, even if it's just working for Google even, they will look at your records and they will like trace back anything that they need to find out if you are a worthy candidate for that position.
Did you raise a question?
Yeah. How can we help our friends stop it? Like,
Help your friends stop
yeah, because
cyberbullying?
if they tell us that they are being cyberbullied, how can we help them?
You could help find the culprit. That's one thing you could do. If you could figure it out, you and your friend could address them. Like before we said, addressing to their face. If, of course, it's physically possible. If not, go to an adult eventually. And then if not, then go all the way and block them. That's what you have to do at then. Or report them, do something so the situation just stops in general. It can't just be there lingering in the corner forever.
Yeah, if you know the person who's cyberbullying you in real life, you should confront them. If they're maybe older than you or you're scared of them or something like that, you can always ask a parent and they'll help you out, or even your teachers. So yeah, that's good.
If someone hacks into your account and you don't know who it is and like post things that are not true on like your account, what should you do? Because you don't know who it is and
Well, one thing you could do if you have it linked in just you have an email or something, right? I'm just gonna say your parents, you could always reset the password. That's one thing you do. And you could literally just write a memo in top saying hacked account from this point to this point for a little while, just so people are like, oh, this account was hacked, so everything from this point to this point just was not me, obviously, so just ignore whoever's out there. You do that, and even though we could get rid of the initial look of it, like the digital footprint will always be there, so you could eventually get rid of the posts that were made. Or if the person keeps hacking your account, just do yourself a favor and delete it in general.
Usually platforms like Snapchat, Instagram, if you get your account hacked, you can always contact the company and they'll help you out. Usually they'll fix the problem, give you back your account.
Just have your parents help you with that, because they're not going to like listen to like under 18. They're usually not willing to listen to people. You usually need to be an adult for that scenario, sadly.
I really don't understand why so many people have Snapchat, because it's like 13 and up, so supposed to
Technically, all of the accounts should be over 13, and I'm pretty sure none of you are. Twitter, I know you have signed on and click that thing when you're 13. Same with YouTube, I'm not sure. I think they put something out recently about that, though. Facebook is a definite 13 or over, so technically it was not intended for a younger crowd.
Yeah, I gotta say, I'm kind of on a Facebook. I got a Facebook when I was like in like 5th grade or something like that. So even now, it says my birth. I'm like 25 years old on Facebook. It's like 6 years older than what I am right now. So.
If you're gonna create an account, I'd recommend having try and use that account permanently, because I once made just a random Facebook account and a random Twitter account, and I look back on it a couple of years ago and it really wasn't that great for me. It wasn't a great look for who I am now. It didn't represent me at all, so I'd recommend just keep using that account, whatever you want, and always keep updating your accounts too.
Anything though, like for me, how he said he has a fake account, I still have one. I still use it because I don't intend ever to actually make it public. it's a gaming account. It's for Facebook. So I was never intending ever to use it. And quite frankly, I would never want a Facebook account other for a gaming purpose. So, yeah.
All right. Boys and girls, can we please give the high school students a round of applause? Thank you guys so much for coming today and speaking with us. I'm looking at the time and I think we have to get you guys back to class as well. So thank you so much for coming today. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.